I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. And so part of it is about race, because if you think about the Brittany Griners of the world, you know, why did she have to go to play in Russia?
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay, not because she was black, but because they didn't believe in the WNBA.
This is part of my point. So now...
Several days later.
Clark. It's called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the WNBA, okay? And the reason why is because I'm not entirely sure exactly what these WNBA players are thinking, but they're not good business women, okay? I'm telling you right now, these women are trying their best to ruin the opportunity that they now have, all the attention that they're getting because of their jealousy for Caitlin Clark. Now, again, it could be a part of the marketing strategy to make the league more entertaining, because I gotta be honest, it's working, right? Because a lot of people are watching the WNBA because of all the hate and jealousy that has been directed towards Caitlin Clark from the WNBA players, who a lot of them happen to be black and lesbian, and they don't like the fact that Caitlin Clark is white and straight. I mean, they've essentially admitted this, that, hey, we don't like all the attention she's getting, and we think it's because of her white, straight, tall, pretty privilege, which is something that Sunny Holston said on The View, okay? And again, WNBA players have come out and they've essentially backed up these claims, and they've really tried their best to show that they don't like the fact that Caitlin Clark, being a white, straight female, is the reason why people actually care about the WNBA. It is the reason why they're probably going to get paid more money. It's the reason why they're not taking commercial flights anymore. It's the reason why I'm actually doing this video, okay? Because of Caitlin Clark and the attention that she brings to the WNBA. Because without her, nobody would care about this league. That is a fact, okay? And they hate it. They hate it, even though they have begged. They've begged for this type of attention. They beg for the money. They beg for exactly what they're getting right now. They just don't like the fact that it's not coming via a black lesbian woman, right? It's actually coming in via a straight white woman. And apparently they hate it so much that they're trying their best to ruin the best thing to ever happen to these women. It's really sad, okay? Because we have to talk about a cheap shot that was taken against Caitlin Clark during this game against the Chicago Sky, okay? So Caitlin Clark's team, the Indiana Fever, Chicago Sky happens to be the team that Angel Reese plays for, who was the rival of Caitlin Clark in college. And that's the reason why this game in particular got extra attention, okay? It was exciting. It was close. The Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark's team, ended up pulling out the victory by 1 point. It was 71-70, I believe. So it was an exciting game. It was a good game, except, again, a lot of people are now lashing out at the physicality of the Chicago Sky, who seemed to get overly physical with Caitlin Clark to the point where they were taking cheap shots at Caitlin Clark. And a lot of people are lashing out against this, saying that, hey, you guys are going too far, right? The hate against Caitlin Clark has now turned into cheap shots on the court. Now, I'm going to talk about it, but first I want to go ahead and play a few videos here for you guys to see. Now, this is Chennedy Carter, okay, who is a veteran in the WNBA. She plays for the Chicago Sky. Again, this is Angel Reese's team. You have Caitlin Clark over here waiting for an inbounds pass, and Chennedy Carter is essentially going to body check Caitlin Clark unnecessarily, okay? Yeah, so again, as you guys can see here, Chennedy Carter is not only going to body check Caitlin Clark out of nowhere, okay? This is entirely unnecessary, but also when she walks up, she's going to call Caitlin Clark a little B, right? A little B, okay? And then boom, just unnecessary body check, okay? I mean, just completely like just out of the blue, right? Again, not necessary. So, I want to look at it from another angle, because this is going to tell you everything you know about the jealousy and hate of the WNBA against Caitlin Clark, right? So this is another angle. Boom, this is the body check. Look who up on the bench right here. Look who's celebrating. That's Angel Reese, right? Angel Reese is celebrating like she won something, right? Because Caitlin Clark got cheap shotted, right? She's celebrating a cheap shot, right? This is what she's doing on the court. This is, wow. Wow, okay? So, again, I want people to understand. This video is not a boo-hoo-won and cry fest for Caitlin Clark, okay? Because, you know, there are some things that people are complaining about that I don't think are worth complaining about, like this one right here. Now, this one, this is Angel Reese, and they're accusing Angel Reese of taking a cheap shot at Caitlin Clark for this. Now, I don't necessarily think that was a cheap shot. I think that's more of a weight room right there, right? That's something, if it happens, people will say, okay, you got to get in the weight room, okay? you got to get stronger, okay? You don't seem to be very physically strong. This just seems like a box out from Angel Reese. I can't say that she had bad intentions, okay? I can't really say that for certain. But again, that other play that we just looked at, most certainly, that was a cheap shot. Now, some people are excusing the cheap shot by saying, well, Caitlin Clark was talking on the court beforehand, talking junk. And this is the sequence that they're talking about. So, yes, you can see a missed layup. 3 missed layups. Scrambling for the ball. Finally, they get the layup. Now, right here's what they're talking about, okay? They're saying that Caitlin Clark, who's right here, and this other player, well, she was talking trash to this other player after they made the bucket, but before the cheap shot. So, therefore, the cheap shot is justified. Now, again, I don't think that's the case, okay? I don't think that the cheap shot was justified. But I don't have a problem with the physical play. However, that was beyond just physical play. That was an actual real cheap shot that could have got her hurt. In fact, this player was confronted multiple times during a press conference on cheap shotting Caitlin Clark, and the coach decided to step in and shut down the reporter, who I think justifiably was asking a question about, why did you do that? Take a look.
And then Kennedy, just want to give you an opportunity to talk about that moment between you and Caitlin. What was that play, what was said, and kind of what led to.
Next question.
Yeah, play before Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit.
Yeah.
After the
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
That's enough. We're good. She's good.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I think it's just like, just respond, calm down, let your play do the talking. It is what it is. It's a physical game. Go make the free throw and then execute on offense. And I feel like that's kind of what we did, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? Now, I would like to attribute the physicality that has been experienced by Caitlin Clark to her being a rookie, okay, and being such a high-profile player coming to the league. Hey, you know, I get it. You want to show rookies that, hey, this is the next level. You're not just going to come into our game and dominate, even though it seems that Caitlin Clark is on the up and up. Her play is definitely getting better. They racked up a W. I think it's one of 2 W's, but I think they're like 2-8, right? They're a bad team. But hey, she's carrying the team. She's showing that she's extremely talented and why she is the face of the league despite being a rookie. But again, it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, you guys are taking cheap shots against her. And again, I'm not against physical play, right? I think that Angel Reese box out was legitimate. I don't think that you can really complain much about that. But again, that cheap shot from Chennedy Carter was definitely uncalled for. And if Caitlin Clark gets hurt because of one of these cheap shots, because of these jealous WNBA players, it's over for the league. Okay, that's like the part about this that, you know, I don't think these players really understand, because clearly, obviously, there's jealousy and hate towards her. Now, again, you know, I don't know if this is racially motivated for certain in regards to what happened during that specific cheap shot, okay? But I don't think it's unfair to question the racial motivations based off things that we've heard people say, whether it be in the media, okay, or the WNBA players themselves. It's not just the fact that people see her as a star, but the fact that she's a star and she's white and she's straight, okay? And they don't like the fact that as black lesbian women, nobody give a damn about them before all this, okay? So now they're trying to take it out on Caitlin Clark, and we know for a fact that there will be outrage if, let's just say, there was a majority white league and some black player comes into the league with a lot of hype, brings a lot of attention to the league that nobody cared about, that again before was primarily white, and then the white player started taking cheap shots at the black player. how do you think that people would react? What do you think people would be saying? They would be boohoo, whining, crying, racism. Now, again, in this situation, I'm not saying that it's for certain racially motivated. However, I do think it's plausible to question the racial motivations, again, just due to what has been said. Okay, Aja Wilson came out and said, yeah, I personally think she's getting a lot of attention because she's white. Okay, and that they ignore black players and we're not getting enough attention. And as a result, you're seeing that Caitlin Clark has become a target. Now, again, I don't mind the physicality. I personally think that the game is more entertaining when it's physical. One of my problems with the NBA is that it's not physical enough. It's not as physical as it used to be in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This is why I don't watch it anymore, right? This is one of my problems with NFL. The NFL is not as physical as it used to be. But one thing I can say about these sports leagues, and whether you like it or not, they do go out of their way to protect their stars, to make sure that these type of cheap shots don't go unpunished. Because, again, if Caitlin Clark happens to get hurt, okay, to the point where she can't play, she's out for the season, or maybe her career is ended. Again, that's very unlikely that would happen, but I'm just saying, taking it to the extreme here, if she's hurt because of one of these cheap shots to the point where she can't play anymore, you can kiss these chartered flights goodbye. The WNBA can kiss all this attention goodbye. The WNBA can kiss all this money goodbye. Okay, I hope that these players realize that while they're taking cheap shots at her. Again, it's one thing to be physical. It's one thing not to be soft. It's one thing to go out there and play the game with some physicality. I have zero issues with that. But when you start taking cheap shots, when you start going out of your way to try to hurt her because of jealousy and hate, you're going to regret it if she gets hurt. You're going to regret it. It's something that you're going to look back at and you would say, that was not a good business decision. It was not. Because you're going to lose the money. Nobody will watch the WNBA. There will be a revolt against the WNBA if Caitlin Clark gets hurt because of a cheap shot from one of these jealous players. I'm telling you. This is the fastest way to lose it. And it seems to me that these woke WNBA players are hell-bent on losing everything that they claimed they wanted, everything that they've been begging for. You got it, and now you're purposely trying to sabotage it because you didn't get it the way that you wanted it. You're upset about how you got it instead of just being thankful that you got it, right? Thankful that the league is growing in popularity and people actually give a damn about watching y'all play basketball. But again, they're going to throw it all away, right? This is what they're going to do. They're going to throw it all away. So, I mean, in the short term, again, this is good for the league in the sense that, yes, more people are paying attention because of all this drama. But in the long term, it's not going to be good if Caitlin Clark gets hurt as a result. If she actually has some type of career-ending injury or she's out for the season, the viewership for the WNBA will decline significantly, right? It will tank. And then at that point, these same people will be boohoo, whining, crying. It's racist that people don't watch us anymore. It's racist that people don't care about us anymore. It's racist that we now have to fly commercial with regular people in economy seats, right? This is what they'll be doing. They'll be boohoo, whining, cry racism because nobody wants to watch the WNBA anymore because these players decided that their jealousy and hate was more important than protecting their checks. Again, leave it up to a league full of women to make an emotional decision, right, in regards to ruining their league because they don't like the way that the league got popular. It really blows my mind. I don't get it. But then again, this is women's basketball. I'm not surprised that you have some women out here thinking with their emotions, okay, instead of actually thinking with your head and realizing that, okay, this person, I might not like the fact that, she has brought so much popularity to the league for whatever reason. I think it's silly. But, hey, I'm just glad that we have the popularity that we have. And we probably should not go out our way to sabotage what we have over hate and jealousy because, again, if Caitlin Clark gets hurt as a result of one of these cheap shots and she experiences a significant injury, okay, that puts her out for the season, a significant amount of time, or even her career is over, right? It's done, okay? So I'm just saying these WNBA players might want to really think. They might really want to think before coming out here and now launching cheap shots at their most valuable investment in the WNBA. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.